South Carolina, Spanish moss swings low. Symbols of the old South stand tall. We're here on the ground just days before South Carolina's primary, riding through the state by bus, meeting voters on the picket lines and in the pews, and challenging the candidates.
The 30,000-foot view is, because you're a mayor of South Bend, Indiana, you don't get people of color.
That process of earning trust can take time.
This Saturday's primary, the last before Super Tuesday, is a test for these hopefulls.
Hello, hello, hello.
First time America will see how they connect with black voters. African Americans make up 2/3 of the Democratic electorate here.
African Americans to the Democratic Party in South Carolina are essential. It's almost as essential as the air that we breathe.
And at tonight's debate hosted by CBS News, the fight for the Democratic nomination couldn't be more fiery.
I'm not out of time. You spoke over time, and I'm going to talk. Here's the deal.
Tonight, Bernie Sanders, who won Nevada's caucuses and is now the front-runner, taking incoming.
I think I would make a better president than Bernie.
I do not think that this is the best person to lead the ticket.
Vladimir Putin thinks that Donald Trump should be president of the United States, and that's why Russia is helping you get elected so you'll lose to him.
I'm hearing my name mentioned a little bit tonight. I wonder why.
For some people, tonight's debate was a reminder this process is not perfect.
I'm conscious of the fact that there's 7 white people on this stage talking about racial justice.
We talked to long-serving South Carolina Congressman Jim Clyburn.
When this process started more than a year ago, 20 candidates, diverse African American, Latino, women.
This party has got to reevaluate the time, the calendar, because if South Carolina had gone first, every one of those people would still be in the race.
It says a lot that at this point we've got more billionaires on the stage than we have people of color on the stage.
Cliff Albright is the co-founder of Black Voters Matter, a group that's focused on engaging African American voters.
Black Voters Matter is one of the few groups that actually focuses on the black vote.
Going on bus tours all across the South. Now they're here in South Carolina.
We're kicking off our tour here in Charleston, ready to hit communities to help people get prepared for the upcoming primary.
We travel with them to what's affectionately referred to here as Low Country, towns like Bluffton. The local group is hosting a strategy session.
All these things that happen, people lost their lives to vote.
And I'm not here to give you any answers to your problems, because you already have them. I know that black folk aren't a monolith, and so it's important to create those relationships where we can explore that complexity.
The next day up the East Coast, they're back in Charleston, hosting a community event. Cliff says their campaign is about empowerment and encouraging voters to look critically at the candidates.
It's fear. We're basing our preference on who we think white folks will vote for. We are fearful of what could happen if we pick the wrong person and we're not able to beat Donald Trump.
He's critical of candidates like Mike Bloomberg, Joe Biden, and Pete Buttigieg, who he says haven't demonstrated that they truly care about communities of color.
If you don't have a track record of engaging on these issues, right, then, we can't even take you seriously.
On Sunday morning at First Baptist Church on James Island, Pete Buttigieg is here, trying to connect with an audience he has struggled with.
It is especially humbling in the middle of Black History Month to think about what it means to stand before African American voters and ask them for their vote.
As mayor of South Bend, Indiana, Buttigieg has been criticized for his handling of a police shooting of a black man and for policies that demolished housing in largely African American neighborhoods. Recent polls show that Buttigieg's support from black voters here in South Carolina is in single digits, but Jonisha Hart's mind might be changed.
I definitely love everything that he had to say. He's the total opposite of what we have in Washington now, so I think he definitely got my vote today.
There's no better place to
Buttigieg was the church's guest today, but the next day he hosted his own event at a different black church, again appealing to black voters. But look closely at the audience.
I've been a professional journalist longer than you've been alive. I have never been to a political event at a black church where the majority of the audience was white. How do you explain that?
At the last event we were at
We were just in this event in this church.
I thought you were talking about the church we were at yesterday.
No, sir.
But,
no,
here,
this event here.
I don't know the full makeup of the crowd or the list of everybody who came in, but we're taking every opportunity to reach to everybody we can.
But it was because it fits the narrative that here's a candidate who, fair or unfair, seems to have a problem attracting minority voters.
Well, again, I'm going to welcome anybody who is ready to hear our message, and we'll continue reaching out to everybody who has so much at stake in the choices we're about to make.
Billionaire philanthropist and hedge fund manager Tom Steyer has been pouring over $20 million into TV and social media ads targeted at South Carolinians, a strategy that may be paying off as some polls show him in third place in the state.
You're a white billionaire from New York, educated in part in California. What makes you the person to represent a diverse state, a diverse nation?
I have been working for racial, economic, and social justice for decades. You know, I started a nonprofit community bank that's over $1 billion. Now, I started 15 years ago to support businesses owned by Black people, Latino, and women.
At the Black Voters Matter block party in Charleston, Steyer's name was in the air.
I like Tom Steyer because when he said he gets elected to office, climate control would be his first option, first big thing to do, you know? Support thousands of jobs, hundreds of thousands of green jobs, you know, so I kind of like him right now, you know?
The front-runner heading into Saturday's primary, Bernie Sanders, still dealing with the fallout of his 60 Minutes interview.
When Fidel Castro came into office, you know what he did? He had a massive literacy program. Is that a bad thing? Even though Fidel Castro did it?
Buttigieg slamming him for it tonight.
And I am not looking forward to a scenario where it comes down to Donald Trump with his nostalgia for the social order of the 1950s and Bernie Sanders with the nostalgia for the revolutionary politics of the 1960s.
Congressman Clyburn is considered a political kingmaker in South Carolina. His reaction to Sanders' Castro comment speaks volumes here.
When I heard that, I shivered. That reinforced the fear that South Carolinians have about this so-called democratic socialism.
The potential problem that someone like Bernie Sanders might present, if a democratic socialist is at the top of the ticket, it seems like that makes business hard for you in South Carolina.
Yes, it does throughout the South. The fact of the matter is we have to understand that we have to make breakthroughs in the South if we are going to maintain our position as a majority party in the House of Representatives.
At a campaign event for Vice President Joe Biden, hesitation about Sanders, a voter who's leaning towards Elizabeth Warren.
People who are kind of just like wildly head over heels for Bernie, like he can do no wrong. I feel like that's the kind of mentality that got Trump into office.
Joe Biden stands for a lot of the right things. He stands for a lot of stuff that we need in the country.
Going into the primary season, political punditry predicted South Carolina would be Biden's for the taking.
I've worked like the devil to earn the vote of the African-American community, not just here, but across the country.
Cliff Albright says otherwise.
Just being around or in proximity to President Obama for 8 years hasn't fundamentally changed some of his views on some of the policies that were problematic before 2008. And if you ask Black folks, we know that. Ask them what policy he has that they're really excited about. And you'll hear crickets, because we know that our support him isn't about our interests, it's about our fears.
4 years ago here, Donald Trump beat Hillary Clinton by nearly 15 percentage points. Tonight, from the debate hall to the Low Country, Democrats looking for anyone who can carry the country. But for now, it seems the only true front runner here is uncertainty. We'll have South Carolina primary results Saturday. And then next week, be sure to tune in to complete Super Tuesday coverage, 8 p.m. 7 Central, right here on ABC.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.